What's up, everyone? It's your boy King A here, and today we are back with a Labyrinth of Legends guide. This is gonna be more informational. I think I'm gonna do another video tomorrow where it's gonna be like more gameplay oriented and give you guys tips on how to fight certain bosses and how to, I don't know, how do I say, kind of like overall strategy that you can use in general. But this is going to be like more tips and giving you guys champions you can use and unit suggestions, I guess. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So any champion that you want to use that isn't a rank 4, I think the only viable champion you could use below that threshold is a maxed 4-star Star-Lord, because there aren't that many other champs that can really do enough damage, like do damage that can um, add up to millions of health being taken off in not a very substantially long amount of time. Um, so I think that's the only thing you can use. All the other champions that you are going to use are going or that are actually viable are going to be our rank 4s. And so basically, I think I came up with a list of all of them. So if you have a rank 4 Dupes Star-Lord, if you have a rank 4 Gwenpool, you don't need her to be duped, but she is better duped because she lowers ability accuracy when she's duped, and that's helpful for some of the champions. If you have a rank 4 Black Panther, not a Civil War Black Panther, an OG Black Panther, and he's also better duped because he gets off more bleeds. Hyperion, if you can build up his Furies and just kind of like spam his specials, he can definitely do a lot of damage um, at rank 4. Who else? Moon Knight is good because of his bleed. If you have a rank 4 Drax, preferably duped so he can stack his Fury. And I feel like there's one more. Is there one more? Who did I say? Drax, Black Panther. I think that's it. Drax, Black Panther, Star Lord, Gwenpool, Hyperion. I think those are the only. Maybe if you had an X-23, if you had a 5-star X-23, then that could also that's also a viable option. So let's just I'm gonna go into here. So there are 3 unique global nodes for every that are gonna be on every boss. Um, the first one being, hold on, let me pull it up on my computer. The first one being Mark of the Labyrinth. So, Mark of the Labyrinth gives the opponent a chance to stun. Gives them a chance to stun you when they attack you. Let's just pull it up on here. There's a chance to evade. Their third special is active, and the max amount of damage you can do is 50,000, which is only. I mean, it's not really that part isn't really that significant. Um, because the only time you ever do that is with a Star Lord's L2 when you get a crit, and 50,000 is still more than enough damage. There's also the Limber, which is definitely the simplest node. You guys can read what it says there. Each time this enemy is stunned, they reduce the duration of stuns by 10%. And so if you have parry maxed out and you have the mastery that increases all stuns by zero point 0.5 seconds maxed out, you can get about 8 or 9 parries with a guarantee where you can go back in. Otherwise, any more parries and the stun will be too short. So if you try and go in, you'll just get hit. And then there's also the Enrage. So there are 2 Enrage timers. The first one just kind of increases their attack, their critical damage, their critical hit rate, their ability accuracy. It doesn't really do a whole lot. The only really noticeable thing it does is that you're going to be taking um, some more damage with your when you block a hit. Um, and then the second enraged timer gives the champion, I think it's even more increased attack, and then they get unstoppable and power flood. And if you ever get to that second enraged timer, you're basically done. Even if you parry and try and hit them while they're stunned, they're just gonna build their power until they're special 3, and then they're gonna use their special 3 on you. So that's how the enraged timer works. Also, the enraged timer is longer, um, for based on the amount of attack, based on the amount of attack that you have. So so basically what you want to do is you want to have four synergies that boost your attack. So the ones that I'm using, which are probably the best one, is Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man. They give each other attack, and then Cyclops and Magneto, who also give each other attack. And so those champions are like the go-to to get the lengthened enrage timer. I think if you have if you're running suicide masteries as you do a labyrinth run, um, you can uh, I think you can use two or three attack boosting synergies and still have the lengthened enrage timer. Um, yeah, I don't, but I'm not too sure. I haven't done a lot of extensive testing on that. I probably should have when we had the free mastery reset last week, but I didn't. So, anyway, and then I had one more thing to say. Oh, and the last part of the enrage timer is that when um, the opponent gets more attack based on how much health you have. So the lower you are on health, the higher their attack is. Not in the fight, but before the fight starts. So if you revive, if you use let's say you use a 40% revive, their attack is higher than if you were to be at 100% health. And the only time this really matters is whenever you are fighting a magic, um, a if whether when you're fighting Magic, War Machine, and I think Falcon are the only ones. And the reason why those are the ones that matter is because Falcon, um, his special one you cannot fully dodge, so you're going to be taking damage from his bullets, and you have to block those. So if his attack is increased, that's even more damage. On Magic, um, her limbo is going to be doing more damage if you're lower on health. And War Machine, his special one, you you also can't dodge. I know I think he's even more trigger happy with his special one than Falcon is. So he's basically going to use it as soon as he gets to it. So that's also extra damage. So I would definitely advise for Falcon, Magic, and War Machine to save your health potions for them and try and heal up at least to like 70 or 80% whenever you go into a fight with them. Um, so if you're if you're going through Labyrinth for the first time, I would definitely advise that you either take Path 1 or Path 7. I'm going to leave a link to a PDF, not a PDF, it's a PNG file, but it's a picture file. I will leave a link for every path in the description. Make sure you follow that path exactly because if you don't, um, it takes 7 paths to fully explore the entire map. But if you mess something up, you can make it where you kind of like miss a spot. If you ever try and go for 100% completion, and that can be incredibly annoying. So you want to try and follow those paths. So you can either take path 1 or path 7. Path 1 basically just goes through the outside, and I think it's about 19 bosses. And all of these bosses have about 1.5 million health. I think it's similar to what's on screen right now, so 1.558 million health. Um, and they don't have any special abilities. The next path is path 7, and it's Star Lord, Thor Jane Foster, Netflix Daredevil, Venom Pool, Kamala Khan, Rocket Raccoon, and Maestro. So it's only 7 bosses, um, but they each have 3.3 million health, and all the champions on any of the inside paths do have 3.3 million health. And they also have an enigmatic, which is a special passive ability that only the inside champs have in the entire game, and basically and on this path none of them are too bad. I think the only ones that you really have to worry about are Venom Pool, Thor Jane Foster, and Kamala Khan, and maybe Doctor Strange. I'm actually gonna look at it right now. So Venom Pool and Kamala Khan have similar enigmatics. They basically just shake off any debuff that you put on them, but they don't shake it off quick enough. So if you were to parry, so if you were to parry and go in for a combo, they would shake off the stun, but not before you were able to start the combo. And then Doctor Strange's enigmatic, his isn't that bad, but he steals 5% his power. Um, if you ever hit him while he's blocking. And another thing about his enigmatic is his buff duration is increased by 100%. Um, and this basically means that he's can be in multiple stances at once, because each stance is gonna last longer, but they don't start after they start after a certain amount of seconds are up. Um, they don't start when the next buff has been what's it called? After the next buff has expired. And I think that's it. Path 7 is the shortest out of all the inside paths, and it definitely has the easiest bosses out of any of them. So that path, I'd probably advise going for that one over Path 1 if you can if you can get down Star-Lord, Thor Jane Foster, Netflix Daredevil, Kamala Khan, and Rocket Raccoon fairly easily, because the only real challenges on that path are Venompool, Doctor Strange, and then of course Maestro, who's always a pain. Um, so yeah, that's path 7. Path 1, there aren't really that many people to worry about. You can look at it in the files. You can look at it in the file. So I'm gonna have two things in the description. I'm gonna have one that's a full map of the entire quest. It's gonna have every boss in their position or their approximate position. Sometimes it changes. It's gonna have all the bosses um, and it's gonna have all the bosses in the enigmatics and the global buffs. The other 7 links. I'm gonna put them. I put them in order, so they're gonna be going from path 1 to path 7, so you can look at all of those and make sure before you move, you look at it just to make sure you know exactly where you are. So yeah, that's it for me today, guys. I'm going to make a video tomorrow, kind of detailing how you should fight Labyrinth bosses, and then I think a little later, I might detail how to fight specific Labyrinth bosses that have some painful enigmatics. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe button. I'm one away from 150. I might already be there by the time you see this video. But yeah, the goal is to get 200 by the end of July. I'm sure we can do it. But I will catch you all later. Also, remember to comment if you have any questions. But yeah, peace.